First draft, have fun. Make mistakes. Make it the greatest story you've ever written in your entire life, or make it a pile of garbage. It doesn't matter. As long as you have fun and you're enjoying the story, that's what matters. Welcome to Kaufman Writes. I'm Kaufman. You want to have a thorough process, whether you're writing a novel, a short story, or a script, from when you have the idea all the way to the final published thing that's ready to be put out into the world. You want to start off with, how are you going to go about writing it? Are you the type who's just going to write it off the cuff of your pants and you're just going to hop into it, just see what comes? Or you could be the type who's going to outline and plan for it, which is another great strategy. Pick whichever one speaks to you. Let me know what type of writing you do. I'm actually kind of curious. Post in the comments. I'd be curious to hear, are you working on a novel, a short story, or a script? You're going to create a rough draft. Now, a rough draft for a short story could be anywhere between 5 pages, anywhere up to 30 to 50. Novels tend to range anywhere between 100 pages up to thousands. Now, a lot of times in the writing world, and you probably already know this already, where a story's at in terms of its word count and not the page count. The reason being is because so many different writers use so many different types of formatting and fonts. Referring to it as a word count just makes it universally so much easier. And if you're trying to bring your final draft to an agent or a publishing house, they're generally going to have specifications in terms of the type of word counts that they accept and how they want you to format. If you found any value from today, don't forget to like this video, so that way you can let me know that you enjoyed this, and then follow and subscribe. Now, if you're a screenwriter and you're working on a script, that's the rough draft for a script is going to be a little different because you're more focused on the dialogue and the action. How am I going to convey the theme? What I know the audience is going to see. When you're writing a script, you want to make sure that each scene, if you sit back, close your eyes. If I saw this on the screen right now, what are the specific things I'm going to see? If I'm describing a shootout, can I actually see the shootout between the 2 to 3 people? Because the easier that you can describe the actions that's going on, the more likely it's going to engage whoever you pitch it to. First draft, have fun. Make mistakes. Make it the greatest story you've ever written in your entire life, or make it a pile of garbage. It doesn't matter. As long as you have fun and you're enjoying the story, that's what matters. My second drafts try to revolve around, what is the story I'm trying to tell? What are the characters? And what are the dialogue? So I will go page by page and I will ask myself with each paragraph or each scene, if it's a screenplay, is this conveying either the character development for this character, or is this conveying the scene that I'm trying to describe for the action that's going on? I'll have 6 or 7 whiteboards up, and I like to actually be plotting all of the things I'm doing, right? So for whoever my protagonist is, I will have a whole description of them, and I'll have all the bullet points of all the things that I want to accomplish. I'm asking myself throughout it, what I'm trying to accomplish, does that serve in this paragraph or this scene? Right? And that helps me stay on track as I'm developing it. What I always love to do, and this is something I highly recommend, print out your second or your third draft. You want to hear it read out loud, and you just want to put it in a different format, something that you haven't experienced yet. It'll give you a different visibility and a different perception of things that you could have missed in the second draft. That's always my recommendations for the first three drafts of your process. Sometimes I'll go through a fourth draft one more time, and I'll do it as just more of a grammatical edit. It depends on how my second and third drafts went. Sometimes my third draft is enough for me to be all right, this is in a good place. Now I'm going to hand it off to an editor. You never, whether regardless of what structure you're writing, script or story, you never want to take it to market without having somebody else read it. And no, I mean, your mom's great. Of course, your mom and your family wants to read your stories, but that's not who I'm talking about. Have them read it, great. But what you need is feedback. You need objective feedback from somebody who is not a friend or family member, unless they will give you very straightforward, no bullshit advice. You need to go into whatever your edit is with your editor or with an objective person with the forefront of hey, they might tear it to shreds. They might give me all this different advice. And you just want to think about, if somebody's taking the time to read your stuff, whether or not it's a free thing or whether or not it's paid, they want to improve your story. come at it with that mindset. And then when you get that back, then you take the edits. You don't have to take all the edits you don't have to do all the edits that someone gives you. It's your story at the end of the day. But regardless, like you get to pick and choose what edits you like, and then you can bring that to a final draft. Do it another reading. Now, doing that editing and that drafting process, some writers will do that a couple times. Some writers will just do it once and they're good. It just depends where your story is at. I would say on whether or not you should do more than one draft with an editor or an acquaintance is going to highly depend on your skill level. A writer who's published 20 books is going to be a little farther along in their writing journey than an unpublished author or a screenwriter who hasn't optioned a script yet. Final draft, and then print it out, go put it on your bookshelf and leave it alone. I always recommend before you put the final draft out, you take a couple weeks and then you come back to it and you do one more read through. That's going to give you the final draft that's ready for market. Reading it out loud, recording it, and listening to it is a great idea. Yeah, that's absolutely phenomenal, actually. That's really good. I didn't think about the recording aspect of it, but that's a really smart idea. I will always read it aloud, but recording it, and then you can kind of hear it, listen to it back. That's might be something I'm gonna try. Atomic. Thanks for sharing that. It's a great idea. So thanks again, y'all. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch y'all on the morrow.